Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Love's the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do,
Just what to do, just what to do.
if what you're feeling is really true,
Is it really true? Is it really true?
just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Love's the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show. Everyone and anyone who knows me knows I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smart ass than a dumbass. Because, guys, 34 years ago, I was a dumbass. But today, 34 years later, through the grace of God, I can honestly say now I'm a smart ass. Yes, the word ass is in the Bible at least 40 times, and it means donkey, and that's what I was. I'm saying all that to say this. There are a lot of people out there struggling, even with health issues. I'm a nutritional health coach, a recovery coach. All my services to you are free. Please, please reach out. I want everyone to know someone is listening. And if you think my book can help someone, because I sure do, you can go right to Simon & Schuster's bookstore, Archway Publishing, BAM, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can go to my website, www.geripetito.com. My book is now on audio with my voice. Simon & Schuster wanted to do it with someone else's voice, and I was like, no way. So my producer, Ruben Rodriguez, part owner of Hamilton Radio, owner of Iron Horse Films, is now doing audiobooks. So if any authors out there are interested in having your voice put to your book, reach out to me. And guys, listen, if you truly, truly, truly cannot afford my book, please reach out to me about that as well. I'm here to help you. So I have to give a shout out to a bunch of my sponsors today. We're going to start with John Bishop, a.k.a. Johnny B., singer, songwriter, host of the Entertainment Luncheon South, a nonprofit network created for the creative. So he's also partners in the Joey D and Johnny B. Oldies band, and he's also solo. But a huge shout out to him and his wife, Linny, for what they do once a month with this luncheon. It's $20. It's by invite only. Great food, great entertainers. I mean, amazing. And they don't keep a penny of it. And not only that, guys, they promote all of us like nobody else does. So, again, a huge thank you and a shout out to you guys, okay? I just love you both. Then we've got Paula Ann, Ablaze Entertainment and Freedom Rings Festival, helping survivors of human trafficking to live a life of normalcy. www.freedomringsfestival.com. She's amazing, and she also promotes a ton of entertainers as well. She promotes me, so shout out to Paula Ann. Then I've got Ken Ryan and Linda Garofolo, The Way It Used to Be, singing songs from the 50s to the 80s, a tribute show to the greatest music and voices of all time. And they do a lot of benefits as well. They're beautiful people inside and out. And Ken also sings Elvis for me, baby. So thank you. Thank you very much. Then we've got Michael D'Amore, singer, songwriter, performer, entertainer. www.michaeldamore.com. So, you know, everyone who knows me knows I'm an oldies, doo-wop, and Elvis fan, right? So to me, Elvis is way up there, and listen, who could touch Elvis? Nobody. But I say something about Michael D'Amore. Comes close. He's that incredible, right? He's that incredible, guys. So go check him out, okay? Then we've got Stormin' Norman Selden, performing for live concerts and national events and promoter of shows. Call 732-245-4777 or www.storminnormanselden.com. So he's been live in my studio a few times, and the last time he brought his little keyboard. He is a beast on the keyboard, guys. So he also will come to your home, give you lessons. A lot of people don't know this, but he helped get Larry Chance from back in the day. Larry Chance and the Earls, the song Remember Then, started. Larry, you were like family. We all love and miss you, and rest in peace. And I know, Larry, you're singing up there with Elvis, baby. Then we've got John Monforto, the man of many faces, singer, actor, celebrity impersonator, and tribute artist. So I named him the man of many faces. He does about 30, and they're incredible. Okay? But he was given a title by a former Philadelphia mayor as the official Rocky impersonator, the official Philadelphia Rocky impersonator. Okay? He is Rocky, guys. www.johnmonforto.com. You know, well, all right, let me tell you about the next one, and then I'm going to share something with you guys. So, Michael Zanman, singer, entertainer, performer, www.mzanman.com. So, I'm going to tell you a little story about Michael Zanman first, and then I'll switch it around to the three of those guys. So, a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, whatever it's been, Michael Zanman recorded Mel Carter's song Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, and put it on Facebook. So he didn't know it, but I sent it to my buddy Mel. So Mel calls me and says, Jerry, your boy did a great job with my song. I said, can you tell him? So we got Zanman on a three-way. He almost fell off his chair. Here is, think about this. Mel Carter's telling Zanman, you did a great job with my song. That would be like Elvis calling me, right? So he fell off his chair. All right, so that was amazing. But everybody, keep Zanman in prayer because his cancer returned. He's doing better this month, but keep him in prayer, okay? We love him. So I had the honor of emceeing for the last few years at Led East with Michael Zanman opening up for Michael D'Amore. And last year we brought into the mix to the shows John Monforto.
Remember?
Okay, so we're going to talk about all that too. So I have two more people I need to give a shout out to. So first and foremost, one of my newer sponsors, Robert Sweeney, retired U.S. Air Force one-man band, guitar player, writer, producer, AI digital creator. So he made an AI theme song for me without me even knowing and surprised me. We will be playing it today after the show. All right. He also made an AI theme song for the Jersey Devil, and he's hoping to make a movie out of that. Explore powerful stories of love, loss, and legacy through his music and videos on YouTube and Spotify. Let's bring these emotional and thought-provoking tales to life. Guys, wait till you hear the song. It's really cool. Now, I have to give a shout out to my two newest sponsors. This is very bittersweet for me because we both love them very much. So Scott and Donna Richard. Okay, so they recently, like less than 2 months ago, I think it's been, lost their son to suicide. Okay, he was struggling with addiction and couldn't handle it anymore. And so what they've done is unbelievable. What they've done is unbelievable. So now they've got a suicide and crisis lifeline, 988, 24/7, call, text, chat. You are not alone. And they're giving away all these little wooden things, chips that are so cool. Okay? So my heart goes out to both of you. You know how much I love you, and God bless you and your family. And thank you so much for doing what you're doing for others. So guys, today's going to be a little different, okay? Even though it's a Geri Petito show, I have this guy sitting next to me. Let me tell you just 30 seconds about him because we're going to have him really tell who he is. All right? So this guy right here, DAVID STEIN, everybody. He's a legendary, iconic, I'm going to use the word radio guy, and so much more. Okay? So when I first met him, I was blown away. I'm like, am I really, really standing next to this guy? All right, we've become friends. We're like family.
Absolutely.
And he's amazing. So without further ado, I'm going to let him now take the seat, tell you about a phone call between the two of us, tell you about himself first. Tell everyone who you are, seriously. And I want all the accolades, and I want you to brag. Do you hear me, baby? Brag.
I'm very
quiet about that. No, been in radio my whole life. I love it. Most recently, I was at a station that shall remain nameless, which decided to expunge all their air personalities, an oldie station up in Morris County. But however, if you saw Ava's show a number of days ago, I will be here doing Doo-Wop Drive on Memories Music Radio. You'll be hearing a lot more about that.
Look into the camera. Look at them and smile.
Yeah, I'm smiling. And so I've prior to that, I was at WCTC in New Brunswick, known also for a number of years I spent at New Jersey 101.5. I did everything. Started out in doing the music, then I was in news for a number of years, and yeah, I was there at 9/11. I'm considered a responder, but I don't know why, but I am. But also, I did the first late night talk show. So it's been some ride, and the conversation was me calling Geri. She was telling me some of her stories, and I said, "Okay, you got to let me guest host your show one time, because there is somebody I've got to interview. I just have to. This person is incredible. I've got to interview this person." Who? You! Literally, word for that was it.
That was it. I was like waiting. I was like, what legend is he going to bring on? This is so cool.
This legend.
Okay, he's so funny, isn't he? You're amazing.
Now, by the way, before we start on your stories, you mentioned Michael Zanman.
Yes.
It was great. And he has said that, I mean, I say this humbly, that I'm basically what got him started back in music. There's a gentleman named Stu Pushkin. He used to have a doo-wop singers club, and it was closer to the mic. It was I've never been behind a mic before. I've not used it. Anyway, it was open mic also.
Okay.
Stu's thing. It was done at a restaurant. And, if you've never done this, and, we have a backup group, and doo-wop people, these names. Shelley Buchansky was in that group. You'll be singing with a guy who, sang with Vito and the Salutations, and was, at the time, unfortunately, he's gone now. He was with the Five Discs. We had, who else? I believe Warren Tesoro was in that group. I mean, really, it was like, if you're in doo-wop, these are wow names from a lot of groups. And one gentleman, just kind of called me aside, said, I haven't sung in years. I used to sing. I don't know, I'm a little, and I don't remember whether it was his wife or, whoever was at the table. Come on, Michael, do it. And he said, okay, I'll do it. And it was almost like, this shy guy walks up, and it was kind of like the Susan Boyle thing on Britain's Got Talent. Oh. All of a sudden, he starts singing, and every face is like.
About when was this?
Oh, it has to be 10 years. I don't know, well before the pandemic.
Okay,
I know that.
got it.
Yeah, so
Wow.
a number of years ago.
I want to comment on what you said about Michael, because this is so weird. So he used to sing at the Stewarts a lot. He lived in Staten Island, correct?
I believe so.
Yep.
So I know he's been all over the place.
Yeah, so he used to sing at the Stewarts a lot. My Aunt Nancy, rest in peace, Angel, my mom's sister-in-law. So she was with me until the day she died. She got me so many incredible legends. She was friends, her and my uncle, back in the day, with so many entertainers. And she's the one who hooked me up with Michael D'Amore. So I want to share.
And if you've never heard Michael, by the way,
Oh my God.
beyond.
Forget it.
Wow. I mean.
So she calls me up. This is a funny story. She calls me up one day. She's like, okay, so you're going to hear from two guys for interviews. Michael D'Amore, and then you're going to hear from Bobby Valley,
Okay. Yeah,
Frankie's brother. Okay? I go, oh, cool. She goes, yeah. She says, Bobby Valley's going to call you right now within a minute. I'm like, okay. Well, my phone rings. Well, of course I think it's Bobby Valley, but it's Michael D'Amore. And he's saying, hi, your Aunt Nancy told me to call you. Is this Geri? I go, yeah, it is. Oh, my gosh, I'm so excited. So how's your brother? And he says, my brother? I don't have a brother. Who do you think you're talking to? that was the beginning of our great relationship.
Good. But,
Okay.
yeah, I've done it enough times. I'm the wrong person, or in the middle of an interview, you realize, oh, you're not talking to that person. You're talking.
You've done that too?
Of course.
Very cool.
Of course.
Okay, very cool.
No, I've debased and embarrassed myself many, many times.
So before we get into you being the host, your accolades, they're amazing. They're incredible. They're off the charts. How many awards do you have?
Well, the awards I got were from. Well, I was nominated for and I did not win.
Still
Entertainer
amazing.
At the East Coast Music Hall of Fame,
Okay.
2019, and most of them I got from news. I mean, I was there. I was at 9/11. I was there that whole week, and that was that was something. That's a whole nother
Yes,
show.
yes, yes.
But for that, covered floods, interviewed many, 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 politicians and,
Right.
newsmakers and everything.
Amazing.
And it was wild. I mean, I remember doing, and they would let me do like wild things. Like, it was after Hurricane Floyd, I believe. It was the floods. And literally I went live from a boat going into an island, which is actually Manville, New Jersey. But it was an island that day. And they said, could you publicize the fact that if you walk in flood, and all of you, if there's ever a flood, and you kind of wading in that water, that is the most disgusting water in the world. Everything you can think of that's disgusting, yes, including that, is in that water. So make sure you go and get a tetanus shot. So to publicize that, I remember literally live on the air, they were. It's Alan David Stein and News Jersey, and Al at that point they give me this shot. So, I can tell you one more, and then we get to you.
Yes.
Okay. My worst moment in news. I did not get an award for this.
Okay.
Okay. If there was a Razzie for news, I would have gotten it for this.
Okay.
There was a shooting at Fort Dix.
Okay.
And they were, it's like all points. Everybody's looking for the shooter. And so, I get the call from the newsroom, head down there. Okay. So I'm down there and I see a strip mall and I, there's traffic and I look and I see where you can't see these people from the strip mall, obviously. And it's like in the movies, there's the cops with, with the guns like this ready. And look, everybody is, out of sight. I'm like, what is going on? I pull up, what's going on? So, the guy, because the only real description that he was wearing fatigues, the guy, or camouflage rather, he is in that bookstore. And it was an adult bookstore, by the way. So it was a porn shop. So I'm waiting, and I just call the newsroom. It's Alan, and told him what's going on. Put me on the air now. Break in with a bulletin. All of a sudden, breaking news from News Jersey in there, and I'm doing a play-by-play. Here we go. And he has walked out, and the cops are on top of him. They got him. They have him in custody. They're putting the cuffs on. And I literally doing play-by-play. And in the meantime, I'm thinking this is, the best work I've ever done. And the awards, the awards were streaming past my eyes. And it was just amazing. And I'm talking to, I believe, Eric Scott. And as we're talking, this is maybe a minute later, I see the cops laughing, patting the guy on the back and removing the cuffs. They had the wrong guy. He just happened to wear a camouflage shirt that day. And the poor guy, not only that, but now the world knows that he was in a porn shop that day.
Oh my God,
yeah.
it's funny but not.
I know. But it was, again, I did not get an award.
You've
for
got Doc G cracking up. Okay, you say porn shop and he's laughing. Okay.
that. Okay.
So
Wait, that's the guy. I know.
here's a story, Doc G. You might have to fix something because I know you have to do it while we're on air. When I go on to YouTube, my YouTube channel. Okay, I'm going to show you something. So here is the interview with Alan. Okay, watch what happens. I click on it. It says it. But now if I go to share it, here, this is what happens. Okay, hold on. Now it says yesterday's, look, story. Yep, but if you click on it, it is us. Go in there, you got it, it's still somewhere. So you could do that while we're on air, right? That's why I had to tell him because or else he would have had to take the whole thing down.
It's like the Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to the man behind the glass.
So this is a story right there, okay?
Yeah.
Technology, guys.
Oh, please.
All right.
Absolutely. Now, Can I start interviewing you?
Yes, start interviewing me.
Because this lady has the most amazing stories. And hey, Russia's been in the news lately, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've been there.
Mm-hmm.
And now, this is I never knew this about you. You have a sport, a game that you're pretty proficient at, that you toured the world playing.
Yes.
And that is
Chess.
Yeah. That's
Yes.
amazing.
Okay. So I guess, Doctor, you fixed it. Very cool, guys. All right.
Yeah. Now, did you learn? Were you one of those sitting in Brooklyn where they have the marble tables with chessboards and people are playing and hitting the little timers?
Well, wait a minute. I did all that. And you want to hear something really cool?
Go ahead.
All right. I want to make sure this is right, guys. This is important. Hold on, baby. Here we go. Nope. It still says it. See?
Refresh your thing.
All right. So I'm going to delete that from here. Hold on, guys. Have to do this and then we'll talk.
Refresh. Yes.
I'm going to delete it and we won't put it back on Facebook until the show's over. Okay?
While you're doing that, may I talk about next weekend?
Talk about next weekend.
Okay, next weekend, everybody. Lead East. It is the world's biggest oldies festival. It's a blast. It is going to be at the Parsippany Hilton, which is where it always is. And there are, there's about 1,800 vintage cars, which are incredible. They have food trucks. It's a blast. A cappella groups walking around singing. There's also a karaoke stage, which is going to be great. There'll be some people, Dwight Gooden, baseball people, will be there signing autographs. My friend Al Sapienza from The Sopranos. Remember, he was Mikey Palmisi in the first season. Tony used to call him GQ. And you've seen him at a lot of things. He's going to be there along with his singing partner, and they will be singing at 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday at the karaoke stage. Deborah Renard, who played JR's girlfriend, I'm sorry, not girlfriend, but it was JR's girlfriend, JR's secretary on Dallas, on the TV show Dallas. So they're going to be there as well, and it's going to be a blast. Now, Friday and Saturday night, two great shows. Here's names you haven't heard in a long time. Friday night, it will be Michael Zanban and Mike D'Amore. And emceed by another name you haven't heard in a long time, that being Geri Petito, right there. Saturday night, I have the honor of introducing, this is great. Originally, this was all a doo-wop festival, but now you have a lot more people. It's been a number of years. People who are into the 60s sound, people who are into the 70s, and opening the show will be Jim Durkin, who is on. We were here with Ava several days ago. Memories Music. They're fabulous. They're like an all-star team. I mean, people from the Clifton Airs, from Remember Then, from a lot of great groups. They do some 50s, a lot of 60s, and the group is fabulous. Also, Step by Step, which is a tribute group to the late, wonderful Johnny Maestro. When I was doing the show at that other station, and yes, I'll do it with Memories Music too, down the line, I do a whole night of Johnny Maestro, the great Johnny Maestro. And Tony Aquino, who is just, what a voice. He does the lead, and he's fabulous. They will doing, so if you love, in fact, the last time I ever saw Johnny in concert, I saw him a lot of times, was on that stage. So, that's going to be great. Your headliner. Now, it's interesting. You have the doo-wop people, and you have the 60s people, and you have the, people 60s and 70s. What if there was a group that had smash hits, a super group from the 70s that got their start as a doo-wop group? There is. Remember Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes?
Yes.
Harold Melvin's Blue Notes will be the headliners. And I can't wait. I saw them at a United Group Harmony Association show years and years and years ago. And put it this way. Doo-wop people, and I'm one of them, can be, I don't know if snobby's the word, but very particular. Like somebody would be at UGHA and they'd start singing a 70s song and it's like, what is this? This is not. But they went into, The Love I Lost, and If You Don't Know Me By Now, and all their wonderful hits. Everybody loved it. They're that good. They also do their doo-wop songs. The most notable one, Gus Gossard used to play that on the radio. And this was a song called My Hero, a version of it, which, by the way, if you were at last year's Friday night show, Mike D'Amore sang that and nailed it, of course. and that's a tough song to sing. So that's going to be happening. What is it? 973. I hope I get this right. 876-9100. Is that the number, I believe?
I'm not sure.
Okay. If not, to Mrs. Coletti in somewhere in Paramus. Sorry about that. If they call your house, but it's just go to leadeast.net,
Yes.
and you want to go see. It's just a fabulous day. Anyway,
Okay.
are we correct here now?
It's still not doing it correct.
Okay. Well,
Do
anyway.
something more, Doc G.
It is a glitch with YouTube. You have to refresh. It's working fine
I did
over
5 times.
She's refreshed. I'm right next to her.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
As soon as I post it to Facebook, her name is still there. And then if I click on it, then his name pops up.
Okay.
So-
What is her name? Who you had?
Okay.
What is,
So,
what is
Sarah Heller.
Sarah?
It might be a
Okay,
glitch
for the
between
record,
Yahoo and Facebook. 'cause
I
it's-
am not
Not
Sarah.
Sarah.
Right.
All right, so now I've traveled all over the world because, and I've been to a lot of states in the U.S., but not as many as most people, because my dream was always to travel world, okay, the world. And I wanted to play chess with as many people all over the world as I could possibly play. So you had asked that question about, so I've done all that stuff. They even brought this master chess guy to Allentown High School when I was a senior in 1979. And they had about 30 of us in a circle, all the chess players. And he
And
would
was
go,
playing everybody.
everybody. So he would make his move, and you weren't to make your move until he came back to you. So me and a good friend of mine, we ended up, 2 of us left with him.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was really cool.
Now this is where you say you actually beat the guy.
Well, no, he beat us.
Yeah.
But that's brilliant. I mean, imagine you
But yeah,
could say
to last that long.
that last that long.
Yeah.
The 2 of us lasted with him. It was really cool. And I did not beat him.
Have you ever played, one of the, the people with the Kasparovs or the, these names are flying out of my head now.
No, I wish. I wish. So now I'm going to tell you, I had the opportunity, which not many people have, to go to these countries when they were communists. So I went to Russia in the 80s, and I went to China in the 80s for a month at a time for each trip, a year apart. And I got to witness firsthand communism. All right? I'll tell my China story first, because I'm going to save the best for last with Russia. Okay? I'll tell that second.
Okay.
So I had machine guns pointed at me in both countries because I am crazy, and I wasn't even afraid. Okay? I was in my 20s. All I knew is I wanted rocks from the walls. Okay?
I know. I think I know.
So
where this is
here
going.
we are. We're at the wall, the China wall. And I pick up a couple rocks, and they come at me with guns. They made me drop the rocks, but then when they turned around, I grabbed them anyway, and I put them in my bra. Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes.
This isn't the school patrol at Allentown High School. This is the
Okay.
police.
Oh,
China.
no. Oh, no. It gets worse. Better. So then, now, they bring us on a tour to see. I forgive me for this. I don't remember how much the gold Buddha weighed. It could have been anywhere from 500 pounds to 5,000. I honestly don't remember what they told us. So they bring us into their mosque, and they tell us we're going to be the first, Chinese people to see this, okay? They had this giant solid gold Buddha up on scaffolds way up high in their mosque. They said no one can take photos, no one can touch it, because we never respected their Buddha. That's what they said. So now our group is all there, and there's these giant pillars. I mean giant. And the 2 guards have guns, and they're facing that way. So I still have this jacket to this day. It's a white jacket that I wore every time I went out of the country, because you could wrap it around you like a blanket and sleep on the plane. The pockets are this big on the sides, so I could put all my stuff in there, my camera at the time, no cell phones, whatever. All right. So I'm looking and I'm saying, all right. So now my cousin, she was with me because she worked at Lenox Hill Hospital, and we were able to go on a tour through Lenox Hill Hospital. and she's up there, and they're all looking and listening to them talk about the Buddha, and all I'm thinking is, I'm getting a photo. So I take the camera out of my pocket, not realizing the flash is on, and I take the photo, and the flash goes off, and I drop it back in my pocket, and I'm standing there like this against the pillar, and the two guys come at me with guns, okay? And I'm like this, okay?
God.
So I'm like, look, you know? They didn't even think. The pockets were so big, they didn't even think. And they didn't want to touch me. So that was that story, okay? So,
By the way, everybody, now you see why I say I've got to interview this person.
okay? Now, Russia. So this was the best. So now, back in the day, you got to remember, when you're in your 20s, you don't really understand the concept of communism. And you don't really realize what's really going on. So our tour guide, this was the only thing that upset me, was she should have told us that we had bugs in our room, in the radio. She never told us that, and she knew and should have. Okay? So,
Was she Russian or was she
no,
American?
she was American.
Oh.
Okay, that's my point.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she was very good friends with the Russian female tour guide because they worked together so much. So now, all we were told was this. The only Russian person we could talk to was our tour guide. We were staying in hotels that only allowed foreigners. No Russians were allowed to be in this hotel. We couldn't talk to any Russians, and we couldn't have Russian money. So I thought, okay, all right. So now, next,
Everybody else, that's a warning. To you, it's a challenge.
yes, okay. So now I have, and I still have it, my little chess set that I used to carry all over the world. It's a little box, wooden box, and you open it up, and the pieces are inside. So we had a free afternoon this one particular day, and they actually had an organic juice bar. And if anyone knows me, they knows I'm vegan, I'm into the juices, blah, 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 and I do organic. So I go into to get a juice, and we had to pay with our own money because, again, we weren't allowed to have Russian money. So everyone, even the German people that we were with, we had to use our own money. And if we shopped in Berryaskas. And that was where everybody used their own money. So you weren't allowed to touch Russian money. So I go in, I order the juice, I put my chess set down on the little divider, and I'm ready to pay with my money, and a man's hand comes over my shoulder with Russian money and pays for my juice. And remember, they weren't allowed to be in that hotel. He must have been someone important. So I turn around, and he's with an interpreter. And the interpreter says he would like to buy you your juice and play you in chess. And he points to my chess, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm going to play a Russian in Russia chess.
Spassky? Was it Boris Spassky?
No.
No, I wasn't. Okay.
No, wait till you hear who he was, though. So I knew he had to be important. He was in his 20s as well. He was my age. And I'm like, yes. So we go, and we're sitting down in the lobby. That was our first mistake. We should have went in the bedroom and played. So we're sitting down at the lobby, and we're playing. What do you like? What do you like? What do you like? So he says, boxing. So I say, did you like the Rocky movies? His interpreter says he loved the Rocky movies. So Idiot says loud, did you see Rocky, whatever it was, 4, whatever it was, 4 or 5,
The one
with the Russian?
Ivan Drago.
Okay? And they said, no, they didn't allow it in our country. So Idiot says, that's because we beat the Russian. So if you give me your address, I'll send you a tape, the VHS tape.
Oh, boy.
He's like, okay. The doorman, KGB, comes running at me with a machine gun, screaming in Russian. They get up and get in front of me, screaming back at him in Russian. He takes off doing this. So they said, we have to get you out of here. So they take me to the elevator. So the elevator, we get in, and before the doors close, they slam open with 2 men with machine guns pointing at me, trying to pull me out of the elevator. They get in front of me again, and they're screaming in Russian, and the 2 men let go, and the doors close, and they're going like this to me, to be quiet. So we get up to their floor, and they're going like this. They open the door, and they show me that there's a bug in the radio. Okay? So they said, Just so you know, now we can talk. Your room is bugged as well. Now, we talked till probably 5 or 6 in the morning. They were gentlemen. It was amazing. They answered all my questions. His name was Anatoly, and he had on short sleeves, and his both arms had bruises on both his arms. He was tortured in Siberia because he was a gambler. So I'm also a gambler, a poker player, a poker dealer. And pre-COVID, I owned a poker league for 10 years, so I always was into that. So we're talking about that. It's like so cool, whatever. So guess who he was? He was the Russian Godfather's grandson. The Godfather, the Godfather.
The Russian mob.
The Russian mob, baby, his grandson. And that's why he could be in that hotel. That's why he had like a suite. And that's why he could do whatever he wants. Here's the best part of this story. He hands me a ton of money. I don't know how much it is, but a ton. He's rich. And he said, listen, your tour guide is very poor. She will help you. I want you to buy something to remind you of me for you and your baby, because I showed him my little girl's photos at the time. And he said, in a real Russian store, she will help you, and you give her the rest of the money. I said, you got it. So I go to, because first of all, I had beauty salons back then, and I even did her hair and her makeup, so we became very close. Okay? So I showed her what I had, and I said, listen, this is what he wants me to do, and I will give you the rest of the money, but all I want is one of each bill and one of each coin. And she said, yes. So she brings me. About 2 hours later, she says, my friend is waiting for you. She puts a kerchief on my head. She brings me to this little boutique that was close to.
Babushka, you know.
Okay. She brings me to this little boutique across from the hotel, and she says, be quiet, don't say a word. She knows you're coming in, and this is what she looks like, and everything is marked. So I go in, and there's a little purple vase, purple stone, only found in Siberia where he was tortured. And then I got the real dolls that you keep doing
Really?
this with, not the ones that are sold to tourists, honey, the real ones. So I still have them in my curio. I have a curio in my home with everything from all over the world, including the rocks. So she gets me one of each bill, one of each coin. She wraps them in such a way, she knew how to do it, and I had to put them in my bra to get them out of the country, and they're in my photo album.
Wow.
Okay? And I also had machine guns pointed at me at the Russian wall for trying to get rocks. And when they turned around, I got those rocks. So I have them in my curio.
Welcome to the Geri Petito Show, live from the Gulag.
Okay?
Wow. We're just getting warmed up. By the way, when you write your second book, I have the name of one of the chapters. Has to be.
Okay, go ahead.
Here it is. I don't remember what the gold Buddha weighed.
I don't. I have it written
love
down.
Just that statement right there.
Listen, I have it written down in my journal, but I don't remember. It was very big.
That is great. So, nobody's ever pointed a gun at me. A water
Oh my
pistol,
God.
but yeah.
It was so cool. I wasn't even afraid. All I kept thinking, I am crazy. I'm not as crazy as I used to be, but I'm crazy. All I kept thinking in my head was, this is so cool. Wait till I tell this story.
Oh yeah, because that's the kind of thing of. I was in one of these situations where it's such a stupid way to die. You laugh.
Okay.
I was at a business convention, business which we spoke about in Salt Lake City, and my father loved to gamble also. And I said, let's go to Nevada. And there's a town called Wendover, Nevada, which everybody calls Bendover, Nevada. But it's, literally, it's a block. But to get there, you go through the salt flats, which is very cool. I mean, it looks like it's snow, and it looks like the mountains are a mile away, and they're like hundreds of miles away. But we pulled over, and we're walking the salt flats, and, it's kind of like up to above my ankle. And all of a sudden, my father, who's usually very, laid-back guy, he should rest in peace, is going, Alan, get out of there! Get out of there! And I noticed, beware, quicksand. So
Oh my God!
And I started laughing, because what a stupid way to die it would be.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Want to hear something very weird about that? Those sneakers, and it had this wet sand on it. And when I moved out of the apartment I was in at the time, This is maybe 3-4 years later, right? I found those sneakers. The sand was still wet. Isn't that freaky?
Yeah, that's freaky.
Yeah.
Oh my
So-
gosh. Oh my gosh.
So,
So,
anyway, this is about you. Um,
Oh
now
wait,
about-
there's a story. Wait, I don't have on here that I do want to share.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, this is about Australia.
Oh,
Okay.
you've been to Australia?
It's like my home away from home. I've been there a
Okay.
ton of times.
Never been. That's the
Oh
first
my
I wanna go.
gosh. Listen, guys, forget Russia, forget China. You have to get to Australia. New Zealand and Australia, the most amazing, beautiful, incredible place in the world.
Next time you go, you'll bring me a platypus.
Oh,
Lynn
honey.
said no dogs. I want a
Okay,
platypus.
amazing. So I'll tell you the story in a minute, but about the countries.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to go and do the first. AJ did his first bungee jump in New Zealand off of this particular bridge, and I wanted to go bungee jumping there. So my daughter was a teenager, and my mother was freaking out because my father said, yes, we'll go. And she's screaming, if she dies, you're done. Don't come home. All right? So anyway, long story short, that was when I first went. And I had to see all the animals and, oh my God, hug them and all that good stuff. So that was the first time I ever went. All right? So now in Australia, like, there's so many cool things to do that it's almost like it doesn't matter what you do because every single thing that you do is cool.
Right.
Okay? And it's absolutely amazing and brilliant. So, you just have to do all that. But honestly, if anybody wants to travel, please go there because it's amazing. So I wanted to bungee jump and my daughter was scared. And they're telling me to tandem with her. I said, how could I jump off a friggin' cliff if my daughter's attached to me? I said, it's not going to happen. So the guy that was our tour guide, he was young and he was gay and he was scared to death to bungee jump. And he was the only one out of his friends, the tour guides, that wouldn't do it. So I'm grabbing this gay guy, okay? I put him on my chest because I'm like, he's gay. He don't care about these. I slap him on my chest. They tie him on me. He's screaming like a girl, and we go flying. It was really cool.
Oh, that's what okay, bungee story. Lynn and I were, I believe it was in Arizona, went to see, we both have, her parents were there, and I have relatives. And we're in the Phoenix area. And, you have the trees, and you can see sometimes if there's a site, a crane, huge crane, like, several hundred feet up. And I glance over, and I see a man jump off it. And I'm like, oh, God, Lynn, I just saw a man. I'm like shaking like this. I just saw a man commit suicide. Oh, my God. Take the exit. Just get off here. Get off here right now. Let's see I'll call 911. Oh, God. We go there. We see the sign, bungee jumping. That's the crane lowers and the crane brings you up and you.
Yeah, okay.
So
Very
true.
cool. All right, so now go ahead.
Anyway, how your I was saying second book, how your first book came to be regarding your two cousins and God.
Okay.
Talk to us.
All right. So I have to give you the background of my relationship with God for you to understand the next few stories we're going to talk about. I was young, and we went to Catholic school because in Long Island City, New York, the school was only a block and a half away, so my mom and dad knew it was safer for us than getting on a bus to go to a public school.
Right.
So my mother would walk us to school. So I hated it. Okay, the nuns were mean, blah, 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 blah. All right? So anyway, one day I'm in the court, they bring you out for recess, and now Sister Matilda, this giant 6-foot nun, tells us, line up. So I'm in the front, and I turn around and I say to my friend, Francis Ann, my mommy let me watch Elvis last night. Okay? And
What grade was this?
I was in 4th grade.
Okay.
And the nun is doing this. I almost cried. It was so hard. I turn around, she goes, you're going to hell for that. All right? So now they made us make our communion and our confirmation younger than they do
you're
now.
You want to help because of Elvis, or because you were talking?
No, because of Elvis.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of Elvis. All right. So they made us make our confirmation younger back then than they do now.
Mm-hmm.
So they stick you in this box, this wooden room, dark, and a priest is on the other side of it. And he rolls this little window thing and he says, "Tell me your sins, child." And you have to say, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been blah, blah, blah since my last confession." It's very scary for a child, and it's not in the Bible. So I go home and I say to my mother, "Mommy, why do I have to tell this stranger I was bad? Can I tell God?" She said, "Yep." She hated the Catholic Church, but it was just safer for us. So my relationship with God, I stayed even through my addiction, even through the things I did that I shouldn't have done. I never lost sight of who God was, and I always ran to him whenever I needed him. Then I learned just to run to him every day, regardless, and say thank you. So I've had this relationship with God, and I always say, "God, you're going to have to hit me over the head. You can't whisper in my ear, because I need to know it's you." And he's done that so many times. So now this story about my book.
Right.
I'm sleeping, and I get woken up, and I hear a voice, my mouth to God's ears, guys, whether you believe it or not, "Write your book." So I'm giggling, and I say, "Okay, Lord, you want me to write my book?" I wrote poems back in the day that got published, because years ago, when I was younger, you could handwrite a poem and send it to the company, and they would publish it.
Cool.
Okay? You can't do that stuff now. So I'm giggling, and I'm like, "Okay, you want me to write my book?" He's like, "Write your book." And then I heard Simon and Schuster. So I'm saying, "Okay." So now I'm awake. So I locked myself in my house for the month. I told my family that I was fasting, because I would do that once a year anyway. And I didn't tell anyone I'm writing a book. God wrote the book. It was done in 3 weeks. God wrote. There is no way anybody's going to tell me God didn't write this book. I still don't know why I had to write it when I did. So now my book, my friend, I hand wrote it. So I'm like, what do I do? So I call a friend of mine whose
This
uncle.
is this book. The book.
Yeah.
You have? Okay.
Well, yeah, it was like that much, and then you'll see a thing where I revised it in 2020. So it was
Right.
maybe like that big.
Okay.
Okay, so I call a friend of mine whose uncle was a publisher back in the day. He's gone now. And I tell her. She comes and spends like a weekend with me, and she gets it in perfect format on the computer. Okay? So she says, "Jerry, we're going to send it to like 20 publishers. They may like it, they may not. It could take years." I said, "Oh, no, I heard Simon and Schuster." So she laughed. She goes, "Okay." We sent it to Simon and Schuster. I said, "Put your name and number in case they ask tech questions. They're going to call." 5 days later, we're on a three-way with Simon and Schuster. They love the book, and they're publishing it.
Cool.
Okay, so that's why I say nobody's going to tell me it wasn't God. So now I still don't know why this had to be done when it was done. So my cousin Michael, he's mentioned in there. Michael is gay, and he lives in Florida now, and because of me, he didn't take his own life. Okay? That child owns my heart. I spoke to him today, actually. He's 50 now. And when I was going through what I went through, he never left my side as a young kid, as a teenager. His dad and my dad were brothers. It was because of his dad that we moved to New Jersey, so we all grew up on the same road in Robbinsville. Okay? So, he's in Florida, and I message him. My cousins already got my book. They're sending me pictures of them holding my book. I don't have my books yet. So he calls me up, and he says to me, they call me John. He says, "John, read some of your book. I'm taking the son with Fifi, his doggy." I'm like, "Okay." I don't know it. So I'm just reading. I'm thinking, whatever. So the next day, I send him a message. "Give me your address, because my book should be coming any day. You're the first one I'm autographing a book for." His sister was with him. And she messages me back, "We need you tonight. Michael lost his mind." He was doing crystal meth.
Jeez.
Okay, so while I'm talking to him, he's doing crystal meth. And for years he was doing it, we didn't know. Because it's supposedly the gay drug. Okay? Long story short, this book helped save his life. I got him in a rehab, and it was because of this book that she knew that I could help him. You understand?
Wow.
So a month goes by. I owned a poker league as well, so I was working really late one night, and I had my phone off. I wake up to about 30 calls and texts. That means in an Italian family, someone died. right? And a Jewish family, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
There you go. So I call my daughter who died, my cousin's wife. Now, she didn't die of drugs. She died of a heart attack based on his situation. So we don't know anything yet until we go to the funeral and his daughter grabs me and says, you have to help my father. I'm not going to talk about that story on air. I can talk to you about that later on. But this book helped save his life as well. And they're both doing really well.
Which, of course, begs the question, how many people that you don't know and will never know
Yeah.
that book?
People have messaged me, and God, listen, God used me. I listened. Okay? And that's why it had to be written when it was written.
Wow.
Yep.
Tell us about your angel.
Okay.
It says Angel Trenton.
Yes. So my dad had Alzheimer's. So my dad's been gone now about 12 years, whatever it's been. And when he first got Alzheimer's, me and my brother took care. We kept him home until he died. He deserved that. And but in the beginning, the first few years, we could still take him out to eat and stuff. He didn't know who we were, but he knew he could trust us. And I read everything I could get my hands on. And if anybody out there has a family member, I just want to share something with you. They need familiarity. And I bought like 6 of the same sweatshirts and T-shirts with cats on them. So whenever he saw me, he would make cat noises. So he knew I was familiar.
Right.
Okay? So anyway, so me and my brother calls me up one day and he's like, listen, let's take Dad out to get something to eat. And then he says, I'm going to bring you to the tax office in Hamilton, Trenton area, and pay my daughter's taxes. We got a rental property. So it was on the border of Hamilton and Trenton. Now, I don't know if you know that area or that building. So it's not in a great section anymore. It's on the border, but okay. So I never went into this building. It was one of those old-fashioned, beautiful white pillar stone buildings. So my brother pulls into where you park and sit right. And he says, you see that door right there? Just go in there. The elevator's there. Go to the 3rd floor. I'll wait here with Dad. You'll see signs and then come back down. I say, okay. So I walk in, and there's a security guard, an older black gentleman with gray hair in a security uniform with a desk.
No machine gun this time, right?
No machine gun, baby. So I walk in, and he goes, hey, sweet pea. And I go, hey, sweet pea. And he goes, sign my book, sweetie. So I sign the book, and behind me walks in 2 white thug-looking guys, probably in their 40s. They walk in, and he pounds the desk and says, sign my book now. They look at him. They look at each other. They look at me. He comes from around the desk. They look at him. They look at me. They look at each other. They sign the book, and they leave. So he says, sweetie, listen, never bring money here. He says, go in, I'm going to wait right here by this elevator door for you. He says, you go up, you'll see signs, blah, 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 come right down. I do. I don't think nothing of this. I come down, I give him a hug, I tell my brother about my new friend. 3 months later, my brother says, come on, let's go back. You can see your buddy. He says, we'll go take Dad to get something to eat, and we can pay the taxes. So we do. He's there. Hey, sweet pea. I hug him. He comes around. I go upstairs. Now, 3 months go by. And my brother says, are you comfortable going there without me? I said, yeah, and I want to see my buddy anyway. So I go. I park right where my brother was. And I walk in, and there's no security desk or guards. No security guard or desk. So I said, oh, my buddy probably retired. So I went upstairs, and I'm asking the people, did my buddy retire? What buddy? The older black gentleman, the security guard. We never had a black gentleman security guard working here. We've never had a black gentleman working here, and we've never had a security guard working here.
Huh?
So I said, is Jim so-and-so here? Because he worked in this building for like 40 years. Yeah, I said, tell him Geri Petito's here. He comes out, and he goes, hey, Jerry. I said, Jim, come here. I got to ask you something. And I tell him the whole story. He goes, come here. Let me show you something. He comes down with me, and he goes, you can't even fit a desk in here.
Sure, it was the same building, same everything.
Are you kidding me? That's my 3rd visit.
Well,
Okay.
Does the name Rod Serling mean anything?
Well, I know the name, sure.
The Twilight Zone?
Yes.
I mean,
Okay.
Wow, that's an episode
Okay.
right there, it sounds like.
So afterwards, I'll
That's
show you the
amazing.
photos. I keep the photos of that room in my phone. So he
Wow.
said, he was your angel. He saved your life that day, and you will see him again.
Wow.
Okay?
I could just see you going up in there and
Okay.
hi, sweet pea.
I want to see him again so bad.
Wow.
Yes, and I want to give him a big hug. The only thing I regret is I didn't have my phone with me. It was in the car in my pocketbook with my brother.
So you know the picture.
I don't have a picture. And you know what's funny? I think that was God too, because if you go to take a picture, he might not be in it. I don't know.
Okay, so you said older black gentleman, God. I'm thinking of the movie in Morgan Freeman.
Oh yes,
Right?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, true story.
That is something. Speaking of angels,
Yep.
you have a story regarding your dad's passing.
Yes. Okay, so this is pretty cool. To me, other than Jesus, my dad was the greatest man.
Just excuse me for 1 sec. For those who are just joining us late, I'm Alan David Stein. I'm not Geri. She's Geri. And this is something we concocted where this lady tells such incredible stories. I've got to interview you. So this is my guest, and I'm the host today.
Yes.
So,
The legendary Alan, yes. Okay. So, this is a cool story. So, again, other than Jesus Christ, to me, the greatest man that ever walked the earth was my father. And he's now in hospice at the time, 12 years ago. And I never left, I slept on a chair there. I never left the room for the 5 days. And the Petito families would come in and out from New York, and they're very loud. So I made them move me to a corner room because they were too loud. And there were like sometimes 20 of them at a pop. His
Wait,
sisters.
Italian people from New York.
York, his
loud?
family, yes.
Loud? No, shut
Okay,
up.
right?
No.
Okay.
I
So,
can say that I had a business partner from Brooklyn. We had an office in Brooklyn, and
loud.
it was great.
Okay.
Of course.
So we're in a
The only thing as loud, us.
So we're in the corner so that we can be loud. Okay. So anyway, this particular morning, I hear my dad breathing differently, and he was under. And I woke up, I opened my eyes, and I went over to him, and I said to myself, today's going to be the day, because I could tell by the way he was breathing. So next thing you know, the Italians come. So the room's filled with people, blah, blah, blah. And I said to all of them, today's going to be the day. I had whispered in my dad's ear before anybody got there. I said, Dad, do you know what today is? Today is your birthday. And I can't imagine someone as amazing as you not leaving this world on an incredibly special date. I said, I think you're gonna go today.
Was
So-
he conscious at the time?
Oh, wait, I have the story. I'm sorry. The Petitos didn't come that day. The Petitos came a day later. I'm sorry. I'm alone with my dad this particular day. It was his birthday. And he was breathing a little weird. And I said to him, I said, you know, it has to be significant. So I can't imagine you not wanting to meet Jesus on your birthday. He didn't pass that day. The next day, the Petitos come. And his breathing was getting really difficult and weird. And I said to the family, it's going to be today. His sister says, do you know what today is? My aunt. Today, Pop died 40 years ago, my dad's father.
Wow.
So Italians like to fabricate and make things up when they're old Italians from back in the day. They say things, they believe it. So I think if my dad passed away, she would want to believe they passed away on the same date. So my aunt had a way of doing these things, so I didn't really take it to heart. I wasn't sure. I was going to have to check. So long story short, my dad passes away that day. That day when I got home, because the Italians have to have one of your little boxes that have all the dates of everybody that died, the little cards.
Okay.
All right, it's
yeah.
like a thing.
The mass card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a thing.
Of course.
Well, sure enough, there's my grandfather's card. Not only did he die 40 years ago to the day, my dad almost died the same time as him.
Wow.
So that was pretty unbelievable. And I looked up and I smiled and I said, Dad, you met Jesus and your father, and that's insane. That's insane. On the same date, 40 years later.
Freaky. You get
Yes.
the chills.
Yes.
That is That is something.
Yes.
So we have. And by the way, I said this before. Everybody, you see why I said I have to. You have to tell your stories. You're always the interviewer, and now you're interviewee.
This is so cool.
Yeah. JD card, 10 years old, with a star next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that a doodle, or is that a special story?
That's a special story.
Okay.
So, okay. So, I was a kid, and my brother was very obese. I was this tiny little thing. I'm 5'3" now. But my brother was obese since the day he was born. He was 14 pounds at birth. So they thought he was going to die or my mom was going to die. Okay, and they both survived. But back then, they didn't know what to do with all that. So he struggles with obesity his entire life. He's a great guy. Okay, hard worker. He goes up and down with his weight. But when we were young, he used to get bullied a lot. And my father, an old-fashioned Italian from Italy, would yell at my brother when my brother came home crying because he's like, "You're bigger than everybody. Are you smacking them, hitting them?" You know, that's how it was
Right,
back then.
yeah.
Okay, I was born in 61. My brother was born in 60, so things were different back then. So, long story short, one particular day, and this has a beautiful ending, one particular day, my brother comes home really crying. This brother and sister, they were the biggest bullies in the neighborhood. She was like to us 6 feet tall. And they bullied my brother really, really bad. He came home crying. So my dad's yelling at him. And I said, "Okay, God, I'm going to die tomorrow, but I don't care. I'm going to get one shot in." So my mom would walk us to school around the block every day to
How
St.
old were you
Mary's.
here?
I was 10 years old there.
Okay.
Okay, because we moved when I was 11. So I was 10 years old, and my mom would walk us to school every day, and she'd have to hold my brother's hand because he was a big baby. All right? So now I'm in my uniform, we're in our uniforms, right? And I'm,
Picture little you in the uniform.
yeah, in this little silly uniform, and I'm like laughing and dancing and running. And I say, "I'll see you there, I'll see you there." And I run around the block real fast, and I go to their stoop, and I climb up on the railing, and I'm holding on to the awning. She comes walking out, and I give her a punch right in her face. She gets me on the ground, beats the crap out of me, rips my dress, makes me bleed. I don't care. My mother comes around the corner screaming. She runs away, and I go, "I don't care, I don't care. I don't care. I got one shot in for you, Aunt. I don't care, I don't care." That was the beginning of me saying, I am going to beat up all the bullies. I don't care if they beat me up. Okay?
I could have used you when I was a kid.
See? So it got to the point where I always got beat up, but I started the fights because they were bullying someone.
Right.
And I even tied somebody up. And that's what brought me to court. They said I was going to set her on fire. That is not true. I didn't even have any matches, nothing. All right? So I end up in court. Now, here I am with my dad and my brother. We still laugh about this. And I was 10 years old. And not only did I get a JD card, juvenile delinquent, that's what they did in New York back then.
That's what I thought.
Juvenile delinquent. Okay? When the judge handed it to my father for me, he winked at me because of why. I called the Long Island City Police a couple years ago. I said, "I wish I had it."
Yeah.
They said, "You should have it." They're trying to find it for me.
Wow. Yeah, I got, it was a guy, a kid, he was a bully also, called me a blanking Jew. And I said, "What did you say?" And he repeated it. And I figured I'm going to get the one shot in. Boom. And it was broken up before it got any further.
Oh.
So we both got suspended from school for one day. And I said, "My parents are going to kill me." And I told them the story. And they said, "We're proud of you."
Okay.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to tell you the bittersweet part of the story.
Okay.
A few years ago, I'm on Facebook, and I see the name of the girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I reach out to her. And I said, "Hi, do you remember me?" And she said, "Yeah, you're Geraldine," because that's what my name is and what they knew me as.
I never knew you were
Yeah, don't call me Geraldine. My mother hated me, okay?
Okay.
Remember Flip Wilson? Geraldine?
Of course.
Okay.
I don't want to get beat up, so.
So anyway, I said to her, "Can you call me?" So I give her my number, and she calls me, and the first words out of her mouth are, "Could you please apologize to your brother? We were terrible." And I said, "I will." And I said, "And do you remember that day, blah, blah, blah?" I said, "I'm sorry, too." I punched her in the face. She said, "I deserved it." And her brother is now dead. He died in prison. and she told me the story as to why they were such bullies. When they were bad, their father would put their hands over the gas stove.
Oh God.
So I'm saying
Sick.
that to let everyone know that hurt people,
Yep.
and healed people heal people. So even the bullies need help because bullies are being terribly bullied at home, and that's how they react.
And also, kind of a line to that, a lot of times I know people who, they were bullied and they didn't want to go to their high school reunion.
Right.
And you know how in all the sitcoms, the bully is still the bully? Totally, it's not like that at all.
No.
At all. People's brains develop
Right.
and they're not,
Right.
they've
And they
changed
heal.
totally. Yeah.
And they heal, hopefully, and maybe get counseling or.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you're amazing. Wait, we got to save number 7 for last.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. About knowing when someone dies.
Okay. So, oh, wait, before we do that,
Yeah.
since let's go to kids' lunch because we just talked about me being a bully, beating up bullies
this
in
is a
Long
St.
Island
Mary's
City. It's
story.
a St. Mary's story.
Right.
All right, so let me tell you that one real quick, okay? So, I used to steal kids from school and bring them home for lunch. Okay? So, I'm probably in 5th grade, and this is what
Kidnapping on
Yes.
top of everything.
this is what upsets me about school lunches, and it still goes on because I even worked in the Robbinsville schools, okay? And if a child is poor, they'll get a free lunch, but they won't get the choice of what they want.
Really?
No, they'll get like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, whatever, and that's not okay. So anyway, back then, St. Mary's, my mother used to pick us up. We used to go home for lunch every day. And there were these poor kids, and her name was Ernestine Jones. I'll never forget this. She was this little tiny African-American girl, and she was crying one day because she didn't like what she was going to have for lunch. So I said, "Do you like grilled cheese? My mommy makes me grilled cheese every day." She goes, "I love grilled cheese." I said, "Come on." I steal her, and we run to my mother's. We walk in, and my mom says, "You stole another kid. Sit down, hurry up, eat, both of you." So we ate, and then she had to bring us back and go into the office. My daughter stole another kid to feed her, but the kid's okay, blah, blah. So I would do that on a regular basis. And, I'm not telling you that, or even the bully story, to make you think that I was this great kid and no. I'm telling you that because it's innate in all of us to want to do the right thing. And when you don't do the right thing, I believe you're fighting against what you should be doing and want to do. I don't think anyone is born with that hate and anger.
Of course not.
Okay? You're born wanting to do the right thing. But sometimes, again, you being bullied at home or whatever the
It
situation
gets beaten
is.
into you, whether
Yes.
physically or
Yes.
verbally.
Yes. So that was my story about that. And I grew up wanting to always feed people. And that's just kind of funny.
That is wild.
Okay.
So who's going to come through the door at this
Okay.
time for lunch? Is your mom still with us?
No.
So
No, she was born actually the same year as Elvis, so she would be 90.
oh, sorry, because I was going to say, can she make me a grilled cheese
Oh,
sandwich?
that's so funny, right?
Did she cut it in quarters?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I want to meet your mom.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So, okay, you're the knowing when someone dies story.
Okay. So I don't see this as a gift, okay? Because I didn't know who the person was that was going to die. So it wasn't. So whenever somebody close to me was going to die, I would get these horrible, horrible, horrible feelings, and I knew someone was going to die. But I didn't know who it was to help them, or even if I could have helped them. First time it happened really bad, I was pregnant with my daughter. She's now 44. And I woke my husband up at the time, and I'm like crying, somebody's going to die, somebody's going to die. And he's like, nobody's going to die. And I'm like, yes. I kept him up all morning. Finally, the phone rings, and my mom, and he answers it. I said, you have to answer it, you have to answer it. And he says, you're kidding, to my mother. My favorite cousin actually died. He
Wow.
taught me how to draw, and he was a Marine. He was out of the Marine Corps at the time, but he was a drug addict and deliberately killed himself. Okay? So that was the first time I experienced it that badly. Then for years and years and years, until 14 years ago, I would know and I would call my family, just pray, somebody's going to die. And depending on the depth of how much it was hurting me, I knew if it was an acquaintance, a friend, or somebody close to me. And 9 out of 10 times, somebody died. So 14 years ago, I wake up and it's terrible, terrible, terrible. One of the worst. So I call my boyfriend, who we grew up together and we rekindled, okay? And I said, Dennis, somebody's going to die. So he was working at the farm and he came to see me.
Do you get like a cold feeling?
No,
or a
not
chill?
cold.
What is it? What is it
Not
like?
cold. You get this horrendous feeling of, okay, you know, like anxiety?
Yeah.
Okay. The worst anxiety you could ever feel in a matter of seconds.
The uneasiness.
No, but in seconds. And I mean, like, they took a curtain of anxiety and put it over your body. Okay? And you're in dark and in this, it is a nightmare.
Kind of like when I missed the entrance to 195 before, and I thought I was going to be late for the show, which is going live. That kind of
Worse.
Yeah.
Worse. So anyway, my boyfriend comes at noon. He's on lunch, comes to see me. I'm wrapped in a blanket in my sitting room at my bedroom at the time, my old house, and I'm crying, hysterical, screaming, somebody's going to die very close to me, very close to me, very close to me.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. He goes back to work, and he calls me every half hour. And then around 3 o'clock, I don't hear from him. So I think he's stuck at work. I'm trying to call him. I don't hear from him. So about 3:30, my phone rings. It's police.
Oh, my God.
And they said, Jerry, we need your address. We need to come talk to you. This is the Hamilton police, or Robbinsville, whatever it was at the time. And I said, who gave you my number? And they said, Dennis. And I said, he's dead, isn't he? And they said, Jerry, please give us your address. And I said, you tell me the truth now, and then I'll give you my address. And he said, yes, he's gone. So I gave him my address, and they came. So he had a major heart attack. The guy was in super shape. He built farms, okay? He ended up not only knowing he was going to die, he was able to give them my name and number to call me. That hurt me the most, that he knew he was dying, going to die any minute. You know, so that was when I said to God, I'm done. Please, Lord, take this curse away from me. I can't do this anymore. And he did. I've never had that horrible feeling. Now, I'll get a little bit of a feeling that something's wrong, something's not right, but nothing like that anymore.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So we're, I guess, running. We're over time, but
We don't
I
care.
could do this for 3 hours.
We don't care.
That is, premonitions like that.
Yeah.
That just really, one that, it's a story I heard him tell this on the air. 2 of the best radio personalities ever. The great Dan Ingram, the best, and Ron Lundy.
Oh, Ron Lundy.
Who was one of the nicest human beings I ever met. I never met Ingram, unfortunately. But Dan has told a story where the 2 of them worked together in Dallas. And it was Dallas or St. Louis, one of the 2. And Dan had the job, and there was an opening, and he said, my friend Ron, he's great. He's, we got to meet him. They heard the audition tape. Let's fly him out. Great. They flew him out, and, he had a flight to go home that night. And he said, bull, BS. Come on, I haven't seen you in 3, 4 years. We're going to dinner. You'll take a flight tomorrow. I just have a feeling you need to go to dinner with me. I just have a feeling you need to go to dinner with me. His original flight went down. Crashed.
Okay.
Wow. I know. I'm getting the chills from these stories.
I have a flight story.
Tell me a flight story.
Wow. Okay. It's not to that depth, but we don't know what would have
By the way,
happened.
everybody, what you've been hearing for the last hour and 15 minutes is one of our phone conversations.
Okay.
This is what it always goes to.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So my daughter and my granddaughter were in Disney this past week, and their flight was coming in midnight Sunday. So I have a nightmare on Saturday, and I wake up and her father, who's passed away, was in my car, being very reckless. I'm screaming at him, stop, stop, there will be a crash. He looks at me, and I wake up. So I said, I don't know, maybe I should tell my daughter not to take that flight home. So the more I thought about it, but then my granddaughter, they'd be in the airport till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. So I said, all right, God, I have to give this to you, because only you know what could happen, would happen, whatever. I'm asking you to keep them safe, and you do whatever you have to do. I'm putting it in your hands, Lord. About an hour later, I get a call from my brother. Did your daughter call you yet? Her flight's canceled. I said, excuse me? He goes, well, it wasn't canceled. They were going to move it for like 2 hours. And he told her, you're not staying in the airport with the baby. She's 10, but we call her the baby. So he got them a room. And then the next day, yesterday, the flight came in and my brother picked them up.
Wow.
So something was going to happen. I don't know if it was with the flight or maybe my car, us in the car. I don't know. But is that crazy?
That's crazy.
Okay.
That's wild.
Okay. Thank you, God.
So, are we up to, speaking of God, the Elvis story yet? Did we cover, I think we covered
We
Every
covered
area.
everything. Before we do that, what about you? Do you have another story?
Oh, I have a lot of them.
Come on.
The freakiest thing. Okay, can I tell a baseball story?
Sure.
Because getting the chills.
Yeah,
This one hits.
sure.
I had a radio show back in the 80s. Now let me tell you a funny one first. Then
Okay.
I'll tell you the get the chills.
Yeah,
one.
sure.
I'm a big baseball person. And right now Lynn is watching this, my wife, at home saying, "Oh, here it comes. I've heard this all the time." But yeah, you're gonna hear it again. And I had a radio show back in the 80s covering New York baseball. Traveled with the Yankees a little bit, traveled with the Mets a little bit. And my dream always as a fan has been, and a reporter, to see a no-hitter. Okay? I have come to grips now with the fact that I will never see a no-hitter. And here's why.
Tell everyone what a no-hitter is.
Oh, a
People who
no-hitter,
may
it's
not
a very
know.
rare thing, maybe one or two a season, per season. If you're not a baseball person, that's where the pitcher throws the whole game, the pitches the whole game, and not one opposing player gets a hit.
There you go,
So-
no-hitter.
Right. The only thing rarer than that is a perfect game. That means no walks or no errors. Nobody reaches first. But I'll settle for a no-hitter, thank you. It was way back in the early 80s. My wife said to me, my ex-wife, and no, this is not why we got divorced, but what she said was, look, it's a holiday, it's a beautiful day, we're invited to a pool party, be with your children, be with your family, get somebody to cover the game. You go to 162 of them every year. Okay, so I did.
Okay.
It was July 4th, 1983. Dave Righetti's
No-hitter.
That's right. I saw Dave in the clubhouse the next day, and I said, I have two things to say to you. One is congratulations, thank you. And the other, I said two words to him that, the old saying, I have two words for you and it's not happy birthday. It wasn't happy birthday. So I said, bleep you, and he goes, what? And I told him, he goes, you should have been there, like that. Okay, that was strike one. Strike two, I was on a road trip with the Yankees. This is in 1989 in Toronto, great city, by the way. And this is against the Yankees. Dave Stein, a fellow Southern Illinois University Saluki, was one pitch away from a no-hitter, and Roberto Kelly broke it up for the Yankees. So I know it. One pitch away is I guarantee won't happen. But here is when I said I give up. I'll never see one. It's 2021 or 22 was it? But either way, it wasn't long after COVID. During COVID, my sister, because her son-in-law rather, had gotten a job in Austin, Texas, moving to Austin, Texas. My mom went with them. And originally it was, come with us and wait out the pandemic and then you'll go back to Florida. And she's still in Texas. She ended up moving there. And so I hadn't seen my mom since before COVID. So it had been well over a year. My mom's up there. I mean, now she's 94.
Oh,
So
wow,
yeah.
okay.
So anyway, I looked at the schedule. This is a good day to go, and I said, "Oh, look, the Yankees are playing the Rangers in Dallas, which is 3 hours from Austin." So I figure, here's what we'll do: instead of flying to Austin, we're going to rent a car anyway. So let's fly to Dallas, go see the Yankees play. I splurged. We bought tickets 13 rows behind the Yankee dugout. Great seats. Would have cost like $700 here, and they were like 113 or something like that there. And so, okay, great, all set. We're going to rent the car. Then the next day we'll drive the 3 hours and go see Mom. So about a week and a half before, I had a gallbladder attack. Was in the hospital. And a gallbladder, they don't just take it out. They attached a bag draining bile. And I remember thinking, gee, it's too bad I'm with Lynn. I mean, if I'd be a real chick magnet with this thing, it was disgusting. But the thing is, I literally called friends and said, I'm going to make you rich right now, instantly. Take all your money, and I have no idea. It's a week away who's going to pitch that game, but I promise they will throw a no-hitter with my luck for the Yankees. And Corey Kluber, who was with the Yankees, I think, for 1 year, threw a no-hitter that night, that game. I literally was crying on the phone to Lynn from the hospital room. Oh, every other inning, I almost got put in the psych ward, because every other inning, there's me, picture in the hospital gown with the the thing on wheels with the IV behind me. Every other inning, going past the nurse's station, going, no, this can't happen again. This cannot happen to me again. It did. So.
Okay, wait.
What?
So we got to talk about this.
Okay.
So wait, this is blowing my mind as well, guys. Ina Vasquez is watching. All
Okay.
right, she loves your stories.
Oh, and they're
Okay.
her Yankees.
Okay, her Yankees.
Her real
baby.
last name is Steinbrenner. If you
Okay.
didn't. Yeah.
There you go. All right, so both times that you couldn't be at the games was when they had the no-hitters.
Yeah, one I couldn't, the other I chose not to.
Yes, but both times that you were not at the games.
Right.
Do you ever think about why?
I was it's destiny. I was not.
You were not meant to be at a no-hitter.
But there's and I ran into a friend of mine who occasionally he's the official scorer. He still does it, and does what I used to do. And I say, oh, were you at the Rigetti game? He said, there. I scored it. Like, he was the official scorer, so he's part of history.
I have to tell my brother both those stories.
Okay. Now, for Ina, you're a big Yankee fan. Here's my get the chill story.
Wait, look. What is she saying to you?
I'm great. Tell him to stay away so there could be more no-hitters. LOL. Okay. All right. I have one for you. You want to go see a no-hitter? Here's the deal. And actually, there's a chance we might go. Just, again, my story here. My cousin, who's a big Mets fan. I'm a fan of both teams. Now Ina's going to hate me. But Yankees and Mets. And we had this great idea. I've never seen a game in Baltimore, Camden Yards.
Okay.
So from my home, I went and met my cousin Doug. We drove 3 hours down. We had the tickets, great seats, to see the game. And you pull up and, they charge 2 arms and 2 legs to park in the lots there. And you go, okay, how much? Oh, there's no charge. What? Yeah. Oh, you didn't hear? They just called the game because the rain is coming. So 3 hours there and 3 hours back.
Oh, my God.
So we're using the tickets. My cousin Doug, they're playing the Yankees in September, and he didn't want to see the Yankees. So I was supposed to go with my friend, all set. Lynn is supposed to, and she may not, but have surgery on that. It was supposed to going to be another day, but I was going to be out of town. So I said, okay, how's September 18th? Okay, boom, boom, calls the doctor. It's changed. And don't think of changing it again. Why does that date look familiar? Go on the phone. That's the date of the game that I'm going to. So September 18th, Camden Yards, watch the Yankee game, everybody. You will see a no-hitter. So.
You know what's crazy about this, to me anyway?
Yeah.
It's like somebody upstairs is telling you, stay away from the games.
Yeah, right. No, I've seen a lot of great things. I mean, the Mets in '86.
Or you might get a ball in your head. I don't know. I'm just saying.
No, but here's the one that I tell the chills every time I tell this. And Ina, text and let us know if you're getting the chills from this. She said,
I am a fan of both also. Remind him to never come visit me, LOL.
Usually people who, have to first meet me before they say never come visit me.
Okay. Oh
So,
my God, that's
but-
great.
Okay, so it was in Yankee Stadium. It was 1983. This is like right at the beginning of the season. And, we had full access, being a member of the media, to the press facilities. And it was me and about 4 other reporters. We were sitting at this table. Now, let me set this up for you. Steinbrenner, George had redone the Yankee clubhouse.
Okay.
Everybody came back from spring training, all new carpeting, new furniture, new everything, fresh paint job, looked gorgeous. Except there was this one redwood, very old picnic table set up there. And so it was about 3 or 4 reporters, and we're just, killing time, BSing. And sitting there was a gentleman by the name of Pete Sheehy. Pete Sheehy was about 480 years old at the time. He, he was up there. He died like months later. He was the clubhouse manager, and he was the clubhouse manager back in the days of Lou Gehrig and, and the 1920s and everything. And I turned to him and I said, Pete, again, this is, he's on the opposite side of the table. Why is this thing still here, George? He said, I would not let George take it. This is the original table from the original clubhouse in Yankee Stadium. And, on there was the baseballs, the guys sign and everything. And he goes, yeah, and I remember the first time I ever saw the last time rather, I saw the Babe alive. He came in, sat down, signed some baseballs, and said, Pete, I'm about through. And he died a matter of weeks later. Then he turns to me and said, and he was sitting right there where you are now, and I'm getting the chills again.
Okay.
Because that is the freakiest thing. That feeling is like this spot. It's like, oh, this is here. This is where, Elvis was a guest on my
right.
show, and this is where he sat. You know,
Right.
this is that kind of thing. So that is,
Crazy.
yeah, very crazy.
Thank you for those
So-
stories. I got to tell my brother them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So now,
So-
want to tell the last one?
Oh, yes. Yes, we are. Elvis. Speaking of Elvis, who sat in this chair.
I wish.
Yeah.
So, all right. I tell this story often when I do shows about God. And I try to open and close the years with how Elvis and God, or God and Elvis, saved my life. Okay? So, back in the day, 1990s, I had beauty salons and I was making way too much money too young. I had a 1990 Eldorado Cadillac, black and gold, with Elvis license plates. Okay? All right.
Why am I not surprised?
Okay. And my clientele, I say this for a reason. They were very wealthy Jewish women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I say Jewish women. Someone asked me why I have to say that, because I had beauty salons. And back in the day, you were very, very lucky and famous in the beauty world if your clientele were very wealthy Jewish women, because they went to certain salons only.
Cool.
All right, so that's why I say that. So it was really amazing, my clientele. One particular woman is still in my life today. And the other one who's still alive. Most of them are gone now. She was a municipal court judge in Mercer County back then. And I'm not going to say her name, but she was a municipal court judge. She was the boss of all the
You're
judges.
saying a bossy Jewish lady who was
The boss,
a judge.
a judge. She was
Judge Judy.
okay.
You
there
just
you go.
described her.
Judge Judy.
Yeah.
Okay, almost was my client and friend. So long story short, I was messing around with heroin back then and all that terrible stuff and blah blah blah. So one night around 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm in the middle of Trenton, New Jersey, with a girlfriend in my car, copping heroin. So this young drug dealer, he didn't have any dope, so he had to get in the back of my car, and we had to go 2 blocks to another dealer to get the dope. Imagine that craziness, right? I'm in my 20s, all right, late 20s, and I don't know it, but there's an unmarked police car following me. So he waits until the guy gets back in my car with the dope, and he pulls us over. He recognized my Elvis plates because I used to meet the judge often in the courthouse for lunch. Pulls us over and he says, Jerry, Judge so-and-so said, get this guy out of the car, get the drugs out of the car, go home, get some rest and get some sleep. So he called the judge in the middle of the night.
Wow.
Now, if I didn't have Elvis license plates, he would have arrested us. Think about it. He wouldn't have known that I was friends
Yeah.
with her.
Wow.
I would have been in jail that night. So I went home, kicked them all out, threw out the drugs, changed my life.
This is why I asked her to do this.
But isn't that amazing?
That is.
So God used Elvis. So I'm going to share an Elvis God story with you other than this. Because it didn't stop there.
Because then when we close, there's a couple things I
Yeah.
want to say.
Oh, yes.
And
The mic will be yours.
Say right now first. Yes, I know Mickey Mantle did see everybody did from the 20s on down with the
look at
redwood
that.
too.
I didn't even see that. All right, girl. Keep an eye on this.
Okay, with nice hair. Mickey, I guess with nice hair.
Well, you're a guy. You wouldn't really look at the hair, so. All right.
No.
So, when people first become a Christian, everybody else is going to hell. You know, they don't find their way in anything.
I remember in high school there were guys telling me that.
Right. Okay? Jesus hung out with sinners, okay? So here's my thing.
Oh, I used to say this, you're going to burn in hell. I like warm weather, so
Okay?
leave me alone.
But when someone becomes a new Christian, everybody's going to hell. So this guy that I interviewed years ago, and I think he's back in prison. He could be gone now, but I hope he's not. But he turns his life around at one point, but then he went back to drugs and all that and abandoned his family because he had to go to jail. You know, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, he posted something years ago, and he said that God doesn't like you to have idols. And if you worship singers or movie stars or actors, you're going to hell. So I laugh and I say to God, hold on. I say to God, all right, Lord, this is a tough one. I don't think I idol Elvis. You know, he's not, I'm not idolizing him. I go, but listen, I'll get rid of all my Elvis stuff, but you have to hit me over the head. You have to hit me over the head. I have a poker room, an Elvis poker table I had made, pink and purple. Oh, you have no idea. I said, this is a tough one, Lord. Okay, you ready? 2 days later, I get a phone call from my pastor who moved down south with his family. Pastor Mark, we always have crazy cool conversations. I love that family. Calls me up and he's like, Jer, give me your new address. He's like, I got to send you something. He's like, I've been looking at these for years, and all of a sudden I heard, send them to Jerry. I didn't ask him what they were. He didn't tell me.
Right.
A few days go by. Guess what I get in the mail? 4, and I have the photos in here I can show you later, 4 original 45s of Elvis in the original hard cases, 77 cents. His mother was a huge Elvis fan.
Wow.
He said, Jer, I called him up, and I was like, Pastor Mark, do you know why you sent them to me? And he was like, Jer, I'm going to be honest with you. I just heard a voice, send them to Jerry. I said, this is why. And I tell him the story. He's like, see, now you don't have to get rid of your Elvis stuff. God used that. I mean, think about it. Because when you really talk to him and he knows you want an answer, okay, and I tell him, hit me over the head, look what he did, okay?
That's him. She's watching, and I'm going to tell you something, and I want you to yell at my wife.
Okay.
You're going to.
I love you, but do I have to yell?
You know it's coming, don't you? You know it's coming.
Uh-oh.
We were, I don't remember where, I think we're probably Arizona or something, but we had a layover for a couple of hours in Memphis, okay? It was Sunday. So I said, let's do this. Can we go? Let's grab a cab, go and look. I want to see Graceland. Can we see Graceland? It's Sunday. I'm sure it's, we looked, it's closed. Just to look at the gate, just to look at the thing. No, come on, it's silly not to go. I said, no, and so we did not go.
I'm going to yell at you, Lynn. Why? I don't even understand that. First of all, I really don't understand that, Lynn. I love you, but I don't get it. Why did you not want to just drive by? Why? Tell me.
I don't know. And by the way, I hope you have a sofa in the house because I'm probably staying by you tonight.
Listen, I love you, Lynn, but I would have went anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, oh, please. And just one more Elvis thing. I'll never forget this. I was working.
Oh, I have another Elvis story for you, but go ahead.
I was when Elvis died, I was actually home. I was working in Phoenix. It was my first full-time job in radio. Got hepatitis, and My parents, the only real cure is convalescence, so my parents flew me home. So that's when the bulletin came, then Elvis happened. Now, backtrack a little. When I started at that job, I don't think I have a Jersey accent, but I might have mentioned I'm from Jersey at this oldie station. And in nowhere, this is, again, the middle of, and it was much smaller then, this desert town, Hey, you're from Brooklyn? We're from. Hey, we got a deli here, Brooklyn Deli. We got your Dr. Brown's. We got the Italian hot dogs, the whole thing. And I go there, and there's like a mural of the Brooklyn Paramount. It's just incredible. And they worship. Okay, they have 2 daughters. I remember this. Their names Dawn and Desiree, both named after the Four Seasons and the Charts songs. So it was. And they'd seen Elvis 40 times. So when the bulletin came, I called them. You know what it sounds like when a relative or a friend, somebody dies and you call, and it's like, an immediate family member, and hello, yes, this is and you hear wailing in the background. Okay. That's what it was when I called. They were so devastated. Yes. And I don't remember their name. If only I could remember their name, I would call them.
I was only 16, and I was actually at my cousin's house for the week in New York, summertime, and I'm watching TV, and she's in the kitchen doing some schoolwork for the summer, and it came on the news. She comes running in. Oh, my God. Her phone rang all day. My mother kept calling. Every one of my classmates were calling my mom. Is she okay? Is she okay? Is she okay? It was terrible.
Yeah.
But I have another cool Elvis story, and that'll be it. Okay? And then you get the mic.
Okay.
So Australia. So it's my home away from home. And when I go, I stay with a family there. And the husband owns a computer company. We all met through poker, all right, playing poker online back in the day when it was allowed that you could play across the world. So anyway, Limpy, my friend Limpy, okay, his name is Johnny.
I like him already by that name.
We call him Limpy because he limps. One leg is shorter than the other. His right arm, he kind of walks like this. He's got MS. His mind is fine. He's a degenerate gambler.
The guy's MS, and you're making fun of him.
Oh, no. Oh, he loves it. So anyway, he was a huge Elvis fan.
Okay.
And he was never out of Australia. And he also liked, there's a team that, I forget the name of the team. I'll show it to you. I have a photo of it that Australians love. Okay, a baseball team.
The
Braves. The Braves.
Okay.
They love the Braves. Okay, the Atlanta Braves.
Okay.
So anyway, so he doesn't have any money or anything, but he has roommates and all that, and he's a mess. So we love him. So me and my brother and Peter, the guy who owns a computer company, he helps take care of him. We all chipped in and got him here for a month to stay with me, okay? And I took him to Graceland.
Wow.
And my brother
took him to Graceland.
That's right. Yeah. And my brother got us tickets for the Braves and the Mets.
Okay.
And the Braves won. I was so happy. And because of him, he came from Australia. And that was
see
his
the Braves,
team.
right?
And we got on a field with them.
In New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got on the field with them. We got to eat with them. My brother got us all. It was amazing. So anyway. So now, here's the funny part about Elvis and then the end of the story, okay? So, here we are in Graceland, and now the Sirius Radio building.
I just have to interrupt. You
I
get
have
the same
no
thing
idea.
that I have.
Okay.
It says robocaller right on there.
We can mess with it, but I don't want to.
Yeah,
all right,
I've done enough of that.
So anyway, the Sirius Radio building is there.
Okay.
And there are at least 100 people standing there hoping that somebody's going to come out and say something to them.
Yeah. Okay.
I grab Limpy, who's limping, and I'm pulling him as he's limping. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, no, we're getting in there. And he's like, mate, come on. I said, let's go. I'm pulling him. I go right in front of everybody, and I knock on the door. Okay, Rob Walker opens the door. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, listen. And I wasn't doing radio yet. So I couldn't use the Hamilton radio thing, right, to get me in.
Yeah.
So I go, listen. I'm a huge Elvis fan, and so is this guy. But this guy came from Australia, and he's got MS and all that. Can we come in? And he goes, you came all the way from Australia. He goes, all right, listen, I have something for you both. Come back at 3 o'clock. I got a surprise for you. I'm like, okay.
You going to tell me you met Elvis?
I wish. George Klein was in there at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
So we got to hang out with them. We got to meet George Klein. And I got interviewed by George Klein, and I have the little audio still on my phone, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Okay, so, I think about that often, and I think, because people sometimes are afraid to take that chance or to just do it.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Just freaking do it. So now we're at Graceland, and we go on the Lisa Marie.
Graceland. Yeah.
We go on the Lisa Marie plane. Now, if you've never been on the Lisa Marie plane, the very last room is Elvis's bedroom on the plane, because you're not allowed to ever go upstairs in Graceland. And it's got plastic on it, and it's got a sign, "Do not touch."
Mm-hmm.
So I give Limpy my freaking camera, and I go, "Listen to me. I've waited my whole life."
I was going to say, when you said do not touch,
Yep.
that was, they meant, let me translate
Yes,
it
go
in her
ahead.
brain.
Yes.
Jerry, please touch.
Okay. Oh my God. I said, "Limpy, I've waited my entire life to lay on this man's bed. I'm going to lay on a bed. You get the photo. Mate, we'll get arrested." I go, imagine those headlines. "Jersey girl gets arrested for laying on Elvis's bed. I want to get arrested. Take the friggin' photo." I jump on the bed, and the alarms go off. They did it on purpose because they knew every woman and gay man was going to want to be on that bed. Okay? He drops my friggin' camera and runs off the plane hopping.
God.
So he didn't get the freaking photo. I got
Oh,
the photo of the bed, but not with me on it.
Oh,
Okay? End of story. He was no longer my friend. Nah.
that's amazing.
So you've heard pretty much all my crazy stories.
Oh, there's more, and there's more to come. Now, there is something you forgot.
Okay.
I'm going to sing a little song to you.
Okay.
Happy anniversary. Have this from the Flintstones. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Explain
So
why.
today, let me tell you what today is. This is so ridiculous.
I'm honored by the fact that I'm here today.
No, I'm honored that you're here today. Today's show is monumental, guys. Okay? Not only am I being interviewed on my own show by this legend, think about this, okay? Alan David Stein, this legend. Today is my 3,000th show. Okay? I log
Wow.
every show.
Everybody at home, please. And if
And
you're driving, just on the steering wheel. Just
not only is it my 3,000th show, you know what else today is? National Radio Day.
That's right.
National Radio Day. Not DJ Day, guys. Radio Day. But here's the thing. January, I think, is DJ Day. Shouldn't it be the same day? Because without DJs, how would we have radio?
Well, there's a
No, back then.
I know a station of Morristown that's
No, but
trying
I mean
that,
back then.
But back then,
Most of our lives, if there were no DJs, we wouldn't have radio.
well, originally it wasn't even DJs because it was a live orchestra
Ah.
from the ballroom of the Petito Hotel. Here's,
So
Carmen
cool.
Caballero. Yeah, that's how it was.
So my
Very, very
3,000th show here, being interviewed on my show by this legend, Alan David Stein. I'm truly honored.
Yeah. Oh, it's my pleasure. And by the way, you're talking about studios. There is a room. There was one. They built this huge studio at NBC, and they had the NBC Orchestra, and it was oh God,
Oh, wow.
not Stravinsky. I'm trying to think. It was a name that you would know, and a lot of you are probably shouting the name, but and they would go now. Where is that studio today? What is it being used for? Live from New York. It's Saturday night.
Wait, for real?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
I believe it's 6H, I think, is the studio.
That's pretty cool.
Same place. So,
So, guys, I'm done with my
Did you-
spiel.
you want to do a poem? You do.
Oh, thank you.
I should be a producer here.
Well, listen to me. Yes, okay. Oh my gosh, I want to
You got
read
a special
poem.
one. I know that.
All right, and then I want you to close. All right?
Okay.
Here we go. So, guys, I'm reading a different poem that I usually read out of my book today that I wrote. It's about me and my story. And my story ain't over. Here we go. In 2016, I published my book. The last few years have been off the hook. My book signings were great, interviewed as well, then asked to host a show with so much to tell. Who would have thought this could be true? Now on 5 networks, I was brought to you. International Hall of Fame radio show host is me, spreading hope across the globe for everyone to see. So I got to refresh this. 34 years ago, my life was a mess. 34 years later, it's filled with success. I never lost hope. I knew there was more. I needed to change my inner core. The last 34 years, man, what a ride. When I think back, I wanted to hide. I thank God I didn't. He led the way. I gave him my hand. I needed to pray. What God has done for me to now heal, he led me to you to help you to kneel. Give it to God and you won't regret. Your life can be changed. You don't have to fret. I'm proof, yes I am. Recovery is real. Changing your thoughts will allow you to heal. God made me his servant to help heal the sick. Hard work must apply. The fix is not quick. But if you do want it, hard work will prevail. From a 1 to a 10, you'll reach the scale. A nutritional health coach, a recovery coach too. God put me here to really help you. I'll never stop trying till God says enough. He's shown me my journey. He's made me real tough. Proud of my certificates. They all state my name. I display them with pride on my wall of fame. In 2020, Revised was my book. The last few years have been off the hook.
And by the way, you were sent a cake if you take a look.
Oh, Ina sent me a 3,000.
With 3,000
I
on
love it. Thank you, Ina. That's adorable. Look, I'm going to put that in my scrapbook, girl.
That is so cool.
So, first of all, let me thank you first for honoring me today here doing this. I can't thank you enough. This was amazing.
Oh, this was a blast.
This
I knew
was
it would.
amazing.
That's why I said when you told me it was the Russian with the guns. I said we got to do this. I said you
Amazing.
got to let me guest host and interview you.
Before I give you the mic,
Yes.
I want to give the mic to Dr. G. What would you like to say to this guy right here?
Well, outside, he's a legend, iconic.
Where?
No, in our eyes. Fellow broadcasters all agree.
Yep.
We thank you for your presence to be here to interview Geri, who has did so amazing accomplishments over the years. And knowing that she just started here and she made all that happen, it brings a tear to my eye, because you can really succeed depending on the people who are around you that support you.
Geri is one of these people, and I don't know many of them. We all know a few of them, but she is one of them that everybody loves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in a business like this, where it's
I have three
I
enemies.
love you to your face.
Nope, I have three enemies. I won't tell you who they are till we're off the air, but guess what? If you don't have any enemies, you're doing something wrong. So I'm
Right.
glad I have those three enemies. Continue.
Oh, we got to get out of here now because I got to find out who they are. So anyway, thank you so much for the honor of doing this.
It's amazing.
I mean, anytime you want me, I'd
Amazing.
love to be,
Amazing.
back here. It's a lot of fun. Only call the GBS gods and tell them, or GPS gods, and tell them
Oh, yeah.
that, because last time when I was here with Ina, I ended up literally in a different town using this address. And you had to call, you could always get a job at the airport talking the planes in, because that's how I got here that time.
Okay.
So you're the best.
You're the best.
And I'll next weekend, we're at Letty's, you'll see us both.
Okay,
So it'll
love
be a
you.
lot of fun. Love you too.
Thank you, guys. So please share this show. And thank you, Doc J.
Thank you, Doc.
Welcome to the stage where stories untold, candid moments captured, memories unfold. Gary's got the vibes, a soothing flow. Come sit back, relax, let the good times glow. Jazz in the air, let it take you away. Welcome to the Geri Petito Show, where every heartbeat and every note flow. Jazz melodies weaving through the night. Together we'll shine. Everything feels right. Deep conversations where the heart finds a voice. Together we laugh, sometimes we rejoice. Tales of adventure, the rhythms embrace. In each note a journey, feel the space. Step into the light, let the music. Welcome to the Geri Petito Show, where every heartbeat and every note flow. Jazz melodies weaving through the night. So tune in now, let the magic start. Geri's podcast, a place for your art.